bros, we made it. At least, we almost made it. We are closing in on the end of another year. Congratulations, we made it through together. 2026, let's go. Surely next year will be better, surely. Say that every year, knock on wood, or like plywood, whatever you are, Craig. And since we are right there towards the end of the year, you know what time it is. Time to determine the best fragrances of the year. Because I'm pretty certain that between right now and the end of the year, which is again not very far from now, that there's going to be a sudden huge drop from one of these designer houses. You know, just basically out of nowhere, they're like, hey, here's this huge fragrance, it's the best thing of the year.
Not gonna happen.
Tell you what is gonna happen though, the same thing that happens every year. Calendar's gonna tick over to January, and like 2-3 weeks into next year, there's going to be a deluge of releases. Same thing every year. Gonna get like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 releases like that as soon as we head into 2026. But we're not talking 2026 right now, brothers. We are talking 25. These are the best. Best fragrance time, but first a couple honorable mentions. My suit makes me more serious. Or not really a suit. Anime. The first mention that is honorable, Acqua di Gio Elixir. By the way, all of these linked in the description. Feel free to check them out down below. And if you find yourself on the wasteland known as TikTok, throw me a follow. Gents. That's me. So Acqua di Gio Elixir, this is one that has grown on me over the year. I like it more now than when it first came out. And you could squeeze this right in at, you know, number 10, number 9, and it would be right at home there. I think the stuff smells great. I think it's really wearable. It's nice, it's classy. Kind of gives you a vibe of like Aqua Fahrenheit or Fahrenheit cologne mixed with the Acqua di Gio DNA. So basically Armani was like, hey, take me some of that Dior vibe and mix it with that Armani vibe. Thank you. Got a nice looking presentation. That black color on the inside of the bottle, really slick and sleek. Has a magnetic cap. There's a lot to like about it. Of course, it's an elixir, which means it's more expensive than the other Acqua di Gios. Pretty good stuff. I enjoy it. It's not my favorite in the line. I still like Profondo, Eau de Parfum, and Acqua di Gio Parfum more than this one, but it's a good release. And over time, I've liked it a lot more. And then the other mention is this Prada Paradigme. Paradigm, yeah. Green bottle with a little bit of a Myself by YSL vibe to it. I like the opening a lot. I think the opening's super interesting. It has that green vibe to it. Nice and attention grabbing. The opening smells great. A little balance of fresh and sweet, expertly done. The main hang up on this one and the reason that it caught a lot of flack is it does have basically the idea behind it of Prada taking a look at what is one of the best-selling fragrances in the world right now, YSL's Myself, and then going like, well, we want to make money, let's do something like that. The reason this caught a lot of hate is because it has that similarity to YSL's Myself. Basically, Prada went like, hey, I see that YSL's making a lot of money, I want money. And that's basically what Prada did. They took Myself, gave it a Prada twist, and then boom, Paradigm. So it's one of those fragrances where if you're looking for something that's very different, and that is how they announced this one. They were like, yo, this is gonna rewrite masculine fragrances forever. And by that, we mean we're going to copy the most popular fragrance out, not name Sauvage. But that is rewriting things forever, right guys? Right guys? Right, that's what they did. And so if you're going into this expecting something new, you will be disappointed. If you go into this expecting something that is extremely versatile, easy to wear, and a massive compliment puller, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be happy as a pig in Dookie, because that's what this does, and it does it really well. So in terms of versatility, compliment factor, all of that stuff, Paradigm, one of the absolute best of the year. Official top 10 time, Stronger With You Parfum. I'm a big fan of the Stronger With You lineup, and this one is no exception. The stuff is amazing for fall and winter time. It's gonna be a little more grown up, a little bit more reserved than Stronger With You Intensely. That one's gonna come across more sickly sweet. This one has like a touch of smoky woods to it, the way that it comes across. It has less of that sweetness to it, more warm, cozy, you know, fall, winter time, holiday type of scent profile is what's going on here. Now my favorite is still going to be Stronger With You, absolutely. So that's 2 Armani's here in quick succession where I'm like, yeah, it's really good, but not the best in the lineup. And that's kind of why it stays down here at the lower end of the top 10. Still though, if you're looking for something for cool weather that you can wear in more formal occasions on a nice night out and get a lot of use out of, Stronger With You Parfum is really well done. Number 9 is Ralph Lauren Polo 67, the Eau de Parfum. And I gotta tell you guys, truth be told, this is here at number 9. You could put this in the top 3 and I would not argue with you. It's just that type of fragrance where like I'm trying to rank it out against all these other ones, and maybe some of these other ones have a little more going on, some of them, just in terms of how they come across like deeper and richer and all of this other stuff. But then you smell Polo 67, you're just like, this stuff smells awesome. I don't care about any of that other crap. Just give me the Polo. So yeah, I have it at 9, but realistically, top 3 would make just as much sense. I know that sounds like contradictory, but it's just one of those fragrances where I wear it and I wear it and I wear it and I love it. And then I'm like, but then at the end of the day, if you want to be like snooty about it, you go, well, you know, it's just clean citrus, some aromatics and woods in there. But it works so well, it's stupid good. I love this fragrance. I adore the stuff. One of the reasons actually it's not a little higher in the list is there's another Ralph Lauren up there. You probably already know what it is by just me saying that. Polo 67, super versatile, daytime, evening, spring, summer, fall. Number 9, and I feel terrible about it. There are some solid fragrances up here though. It's not like I'm putting this down here and everything above it is trash. That's not what's going on. Just when you get up to the top 10, there have actually been some really good fragrances this year, surprisingly. Before I started picking them out, I was like, I don't know, man, I think this year was pretty weak. And I started going through and I had like 20 different fragrances that I was thinking about putting in the top 10. So not as weak as I thought originally. 212 VIP Black Elixir is up next. So this one is obviously Carolina Herrera. It is probably the least talked about of any of the fragrances that I'm gonna mention today. It got announced earlier in the year and then it didn't even come out for like 3 months or something. It was basically announced and it was like, okay, cool, I'll be on the lookout for it, and then nothing. Months later, I ordered it from Europe. It is slightly easier to find now, thankfully. This is just a fragrance that flies under the radar, but smells great. And magnetic cap, that's good, that's real good. I mean, honestly, the whole thing is kind of low key, right? Like, you look at the bottle, there's not really anything flashy here. It's also a fingerprint magnet, so that sucks. And when you look at the note breakdown, honestly, super boring. There's not really much to get excited about between the name, because Elixir at this point is played out, presentation, Carolina Herrera, most people know them at this point for Bad Boy, and the note breakdown, like I just was talking about, lavender, licorice, vanilla. That's it. Which frankly just sounds boring. I mean, at this point, I feel like we're all getting tired of the 3-note breakdowns, especially when there's not really anything interesting in there. Maybe you could say the licorice, you know, it's not used all that often, but lavender, vanilla, great. You just described 85% of men's fragrances nowadays. Good job, Herrera. All I'm saying is, in 2026, I would like to see brands try a little bit more. I'm not saying come at me with some super crazy avant-garde fragrance, you know, released as a guaranteed money loser. That's not what I'm telling you to do. It's not what I'm hoping happens, but like just a little more effort, you know? Actually think about the fragrance. Like, what are you trying to tell? What is this story? What is it supposed to impart to the person wearing it? And then provide a note breakdown that supports that story, you know, flesh everything out. Don't just be like, here we are with the hottest new elixir, it's got vanilla and lavender. Why do I care? Nobody cares. Off of my soapbox, this stuff does smell amazing. In spite of all that, you do get a good punch of licorice, which is going to set it apart from all the other vanilla forward fragrances out there, but it still does have that vanilla forward profile that is extremely popular nowadays. So it's gonna give you that nice sort of fizzy sweetness. Good performance, the lavender keeps it clean and classy. Just a great, somewhat under the radar new release. Really, really good. After that one, I gotta go with this one, Guilty Absolute de Parfum. You can tell just by looking at this that it does smell similar to Guilty Elixir, and it absolutely does. That's one of the reasons that it's a little bit further down the list and not higher up the list, because there is heavy overlap between this one and that one, which, to be fair, There are a couple coming up that have heavy overlap too. Kind of hard to escape that. But yeah, it smells similar to Guilty Elixir. It's gonna perform a lot like that fragrance, so really strong, long lasting, very loud. So if you wanna get noticed, it can help you get noticed. And basically it smells like you take Elixir and fine tune it a little bit more for fall and wintertime use. That's kind of the vibe here. They introduce rum into the fragrance, so it's gonna give you more warmth and a little bit of booziness in there. Not quite as fresh, clean as Guilty Elixir, but just like Guilty Elixir, it's gonna remind you of fragrances like Reflection Man and Parfums de Marly Pegasus, kind of blended together. But again, given a little bit of an evening or cool weather twist. Smells amazing, super classy, kind of right here, almost toward the middle. The next fragrance is a compliment destroyer. It destroys compliments? Huh. Yeah, actually, that's not what I meant. It gets them. But before we talk about that fragrance, here are a multitude of codes, and you can use these codes to destroy prices. Across a bunch of different websites, so Fragflex, the Perfume Box, Gift Express, even Lucky Scent. There is a little something for everybody here. So anytime you shop at those stores, use those codes, save yourself a little cash. The next scent, Elixir Absolu by Jean Paul Gaultier. It looks the same as Elixir, only they made the stripes gold. And the fragrance itself is quite similar to Elixir as well. Whew. This is another one that grows on you a lot. Like this one, I kind of wanted to put it higher in the list, but some of the ones after it, I had to put them up there. This is really, really good though. The plum in here smells absolutely fantastic. Great performance once again. Also have cinnamon and cardamom along with tonka and lavender, a bunch of other notes as well. Not quite as honey soaked as the Elixir, though it does have some nice sweetness in there. This one is going to be a little bit spicier, maybe slightly classier, although to me, both are about equal in terms of their classiness. Potential drawback with this one is just that overlap that it's gonna have with the original Elixir. For some people, it might be too close. Although personally for me, I think both are different enough that you can own both and use them at different times and places. Top 5. Number 5 is Myself Absolu. YSL's Myself is, for all intents and purposes, one of the top 3 most popular fragrances in the world at this point. When you look at the sales data, which I have a video on the channel in case you haven't checked that out yet, where I go over the top 30 bestsellers in the US, also have a Europe version as well, but Myself is just right up there toward the top. And you have to take something into consideration with this. Myself, for the sales rankings, they're just counting the original. And I've explained this in detail, just the Cliff's Notes version. If you have a fragrance name that has different concentrations and the only thing changing in the name is the concentrations. Example, Sauvage Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, Parfum. All 3 of those will be counted as one SKU in terms of the sales rankings. If it's a flanker name, it gets its own separate entry, okay? So Elixir, even Le Parfum, Absolu, Profumo, things like that, Profundo, those will not count underneath the first SKU. Hopefully that makes sense. And yes, I realize that Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum are different SKUs, I get that, but that's just how they do it. If the concentration name is the only thing changing, they combine that into one thing. So the reason I said all that is because Myself Eau de Parfum is right up towards the top, okay? And the only things above it really are fragrances that have multiple different fragrances combined into one essentially mega unit. That lets you know how popular this stuff is. Because the Absolu, this version, and the Le Parfum are completely separated on the bestsellers charts. This right here, quite similar to the original Myself Eau de Parfum, but with a big ginger blast in there, great citrus off the top. It has a great semi-metallic feel to it, super appealing. Ultra versatile, big compliment puller. You can wear this stuff year round, daytime or evening. Just absolutely fantastic. And I think that if you're looking for just straight up compliments, the Absolu might be the best version of the Myself fragrances so far, though really can't go wrong with any of them. Number 4, Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Extra Dose. This is another one that grew on me over the year. Stuff is killer, super strong. A lot of people are obsessed with performance nowadays, like a real unhealthy obsession with performance, like it's literally the only thing that matters to some people. And if that is you, this will not let you down. Though I would encourage you to try some other things that are not insanely beast mode, because those are good too. It has overlap with Born in Roma Intense, so there is a little similarity here between this one and that one. This though leans a little bit heavier into the lavender. It still has a good amount of sweetness, but it's not as vanilla forward. And it's once again one of those fragrances that walks the line very nicely between something that you can wear casually, and then if you don't go crazy heavy, it would work formally as well. Another big compliment puller, super easy to wear, love this stuff. All right, top 3. So if I could pick just 3 fragrances to keep from this year, it would be these. But I would not really feel good about it. I would feel pretty bad. Because this stuff up here, if you own just these fragrances, you are absolutely locked and loaded. You have stuff that you can wear pretty much year round that pulls compliments, something amazing for spring and summer, super powerful fragrances, classier fragrances, you've got it all. But to top it all off, coming in at number 3, this one right here, Forever Wanted Elixir. They just had to throw elixir on the end. Like, Forever Wanted wasn't good enough. The cap is garbage. Like, this cap super sucks. The atomizer is garbage, but the fragrance is great. Yeah, stuff rules. This one is just an extremely wearable leather scent. It is smooth, it's subtle when it needs to be, it's loud when it needs to be. What I mean by that is, as long as you don't go crazy heavy on the trigger, it's that type of fragrance that is going to get you attention, but it's more of a magnetic sort of scent profile, where you catch a waft and it's just like, well, who is that? Who is that? I don't do that, I've never done that, that's not me. Other people do that. The raspberry off the top gives it a really interesting twist compared to pretty much everything else out there. You're using apple and grapefruit and bergamot. It's got nice longevity, nice projection, and it can go toe to toe with some of the other, top of the line designer leather fragrances, like ombre leather from Tom Ford. You could wear this the exact same time, same places, and smell just as good. Number 2, Ralph Lauren Ralph's Club, New York. This is another one of those ones that just grows on you like a tumor, like really fragrant, nice smelling tumor. Or if you've played The Last of Us, grows on you like a cordyceps. Or if you've played Silent Hill F, grows on you like a fungus that is red. That didn't really, it's a red fungus. What are those called? They're like spider lilies, red spider lilies, the flowers in that game? Something like that. If you've not played that, picture, hey, like I said, this creeps into your brain and you just keep reaching for it. The thing Ralph Lauren has done probably better than anybody else this year is giving us fragrances that are just wearable. They're not really trying to reinvent the wheel. They're just trying to give you something that hits all the little boxes people want. Fresh, yeah. Little sweet, yeah. Good performance, yeah. Not too expensive at retail, yeah. At least compared to other things. Compliment pullers, yeah. This and this do that better than almost anything. I love Ralph's Club New York. The black currant in the opening is fantastic. It's maybe not as tart as I had wanted originally when I first smelled it, but the restraint that they have with that, just giving it a slight unique twist in the opening really takes this to the next level. Number 1, Gentleman's Society Ombre. I've got to tell you guys, when I first smelled this, I thought it was good. But I did not expect this to be number 1 for this year. My expectation when I first got it, somewhere around here probably. I thought, it's gonna be 8, 9, 10, something like that probably. Because again, I liked it. I thought this is the best Society so far as the Gentleman releases. And even as I was getting ready to review it, I was liking it more. And I was like, yeah, this is kind of like, you could put it on par with some of the other Gentleman fragrances. Like you could put it there with Boisé or Eau de Toilette Intense and be like, yeah, it's like good enough to hang with those ones. And now here we are toward the end of the year and I'm putting this up there close to Reserve Privé. It slaps. Now I have to say it is more of a special occasion fragrance than some of these others. For sure, like the Ralph's Club, the Valentino, the YSL, stuff like that, you would wear more often through the year. But this stuff is top notch. Iris, Narcissus, amber of course, tobacco, a touch powdery, a touch sweet, super classy, attention grabbing, different. Nothing else up here really has much of anything in common with this. And then as it dries down, it gets a nice warm sweetness, super sexy, refined, classy, elegant. everything you look for in a fall and winter time fragrance, especially in the evening. So this one right here, Gentleman's Society, number 1. There we go. These are the fragrances that for me define the top part of the year. The best part of the year? Top part of the year, what? There are some other fragrances worth mentioning. Dior Homme Parfum, the new version, if you really want compliments, you want a beginner's iris fragrance that has a nice vanilla sort of dry down, that one is worth checking out. Invictus Victory Absolute is actually really solid. I like Victory and Victory Elixir more, but Victory Absolute, very strong, has a nice like peppery aspect to it, keeping that Invictus Victory DNA intact. That one's good. Bleu de Chanel Exclusive, very expensive, but if you're looking for a nice, classy, woodsy sort of designer fragrance, worth checking out. And then Spice Bomb Metallic Musk. That one's well done as well. Kind of like a fresher take on the Spice Bomb DNA, a little bit powdery, easy to wear spring and fall, and potentially summer too. So there we go, 2025. Let me know in the comments, what is your top 3? What are your top 3 for this year as far as designers go? Thank you guys for hanging with me here until the end. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.